The Ukrainian military has released footage which it says shows a line of Russian warplanes at Belaya. It appears to have been filmed by a drone and shows the aircraft exploding. Russian media is reporting the attack in Murmansk but says air defences are working. Our World Affairs correspondent Paul Adams is in Kyiv for us.
Ukraine's drone assault, now dubbed Operation E, Spiderweb has flipped the warboard and sent Vladimir Putin into a tailspin, literally screaming, "No more red lines." If this sounds unbelievable, wait till you hear the full story. Let's be clear, this wasn't just an attack. This was military theater at its finest. Ukraine orchestrated a multi-phase, multi-site operation deep inside Russian territory. Not near the border, not in disputed zones, but smack in the heartland. We're talking 5 strategic air bases: Belaya, Diaghilevo, Ivanovo-Severny, Olenya, and Ukrainka, all targeted with remarkable precision. But here's the jaw-dropper. The drones were launched from inside Russia, transported in disguised trucks that looked like they were delivering bricks or gravel. Ukraine essentially smuggled a swarm army into Putin's backyard and hit launch. You really can't make this stuff up. Now, the scale of the damage? Massive. This wasn't a small inconvenience. It was a catastrophe for the Russian Air Force. Over 40 aircraft were either obliterated or rendered unusable. We're talking 295 Bears and 222 M3 backfire bombers, the crown jewels of Russia's long-range nuclear-capable fleet. These aren't your average jets. They're Cold War icons. Think of them as the flying version of a nuclear chess piece, expensive, powerful, and more importantly, irreplaceable. Production lines for many of these aircraft shut down decades ago. Each one lost is a wound that can't be stitched. It's like watching your grandfather's Rolex get run over by a monster truck. You can't buy a new one. But the strike wasn't just about aircraft. Fuel depots, radars, runways, all targeted. Reports from satellite imagery confirmed the scenes: cratered airstrips, burnt-out bombers, mangled hangars. The footage looked less like a military base and more like a junkyard after a tornado with anger management issues. So how did Ukraine pull this off? Here's where things get fun and terrifying if you're on Russia's side. The drones used weren't state-of-the-art billion-dollar marvels. They were low-cost, high-precision UAVs made with parts you could find on the open market. They used GPS spoofing and local control systems, many reportedly operated by modified open-source autopilot software like Ardu Pilot. The Ukrainians didn't just outgun Russia, they outsmarted them. They used brains over bombs. In this age of drone warfare, a well-coded software script and a disguised delivery truck can be more lethal than an entire tank battalion. And when the smoke cleared and Russian commanders scrambled to assess what had just happened, one thing became clear. The myth of Russian air superiority had taken a direct hit. So when Putin, reportedly in a fit of rage, declared "no more red lines," it was less a threat and more a tantrum. Because let's be honest, if your red lines can be driven over in a construction truck full of drones, maybe it's time to get new markers. But of course, in typical Kremlin fashion, instead of admitting vulnerability or addressing the clear strategic gaps, the response was pure escalation. Russia launched retaliatory missile barrages across Ukraine, targeting civilian infrastructure, power grids, apartment complexes, shopping malls. The same tired tactic. Can't hit back at the military threat? Hit the civilians. It's less strategy and more playground logic. Ukraine just embarrassed the bully in front of the whole school, and now he's throwing rocks at bystanders. This brings us to the international scene, because once word got out about this audacious operation, the geopolitical chessboard shifted. Western analysts hailed it as one of the boldest tactical moves since Pearl Harbor. But instead of battleships and torpedoes, it was drones and GPS apps. Pentagon officials, off the record, were reportedly blown away by the precision and creativity of the strike. NATO intelligence agencies rushed to assess the implications. If Ukraine can pull this off with off-the-shelf parts, what else can they do? And then there's the humor. Yes, even in war, irony finds a way to sneak in. Imagine the poor Russian base commander waking up to the sound of buzzing overhead, thinking it's mosquitoes, only to realize it's a swarm of flying lawnmowers with explosive payloads. Or the guards letting in trucks thinking they're just dropping off sandbags, not knowing they're delivering a demolition derby. It's the kind of military embarrassment that doesn't just sting, it memes. And you better believe it's already viral. This operation also marks a monumental shift in how wars will be fought in the future. Forget tanks and jets. Wars will now be won by coders, drone tinkerers, and people who can fly quadcopters better than they can drive. Ukraine has shown that in a world of traditional military muscle, agility, creativity, and a healthy disrespect for the rules can win the day. And behind every drone, every signal jammer, every improvised payload, there's a team of unsung heroes, engineers working by candlelight during blackouts, operators risking capture behind enemy lines, and analysts poring over satellite images, like they're looking for Waldo. This wasn't just military power. This was human determination, the kind that doesn't care about the odds, only about the mission. So what happens now? Putin is under pressure like never before. His military doctrine is crumbling. His air force is limping. His infamous red lines have been laughed at, run over, and ignored. And worst of all, the world has seen it. The eye. Propaganda machine can spin all it wants, but satellite photos don't lie. Burnt bombers are hard to Photoshop back to life. Russia now faces a brutal choice: escalate and risk further humiliation, or retreat and admit strategic defeat. And neither option is palatable to a regime obsessed with optics and power. Ukraine, on the other hand, has scored a victory not just in destruction, but in morale. They've shown that with courage, cunning, and a few well-placed drones, even Goliath can be made to stumble. Since we left off pondering Russia's next moves and the shaking of Putin's red lines, let's zoom out and examine the broader implications, not just for this conflict, but for modern warfare and global security. What Ukraine's drone assault really signals is a paradigm shift in military power. For decades, war has been dominated by huge, expensive machines, aircraft carriers the size of small cities, multi-billion-dollar stealth bombers, and artillery that can level mountains. But drones? They're the pocket knives of modern combat. Cheap, versatile, and surprisingly deadly in the right hands. This means future conflicts might not be decided by who can pour the most money into bombs and tanks, but by who can innovate faster, hack smarter, and strike unexpectedly. For nations with smaller budgets, this levels the playing field in unprecedented ways. Suddenly, a garage full of drone engineers and coders can make a difference that previously only a massive army could. And the psychological effect? Consider this. Soldiers on the Russian side can no longer rest easy even in their supposedly safe bases deep inside their own territory. When the enemy can launch an invisible swarm of drones from within your backyard, the very concept of safe zone starts to vanish. It's a new kind of warfare that's as much about nerves as it is about firepower. But let's not forget the human toll behind all these headlines and strategic jargon. While the destruction of bombers makes a powerful news story, thousands of people on both sides live through the uncertainty, the fear, and the heartbreak that comes with every missile and drone strike. Families displaced, lives disrupted. The war isn't just about equipment, it's about humanity caught in the crossfire. Now, as for Russia's "No More Red Lines" declaration, it's more than a catchy quote. It's a symbol of a leadership under pressure, scrambling to keep control while losing grip. Historically, when leaders declare such things, it often signals a readiness to escalate. The world watches nervously, wondering if the next move will bring more destruction or diplomacy. And let's be honest, escalation in a war zone that already involves nuclear-capable bombers isn't just scary, it's downright terrifying. So every drone lost, every bomb destroyed, every red line crossed sends ripples far beyond the battlefield. But despite the danger and drama, moments like Operation Spiderweb also remind us how technology and creativity can empower resistance and hope. For Ukraine, this was a victory not just of force, but of spirit. Against odds, against expectations, they showed that determination and innovation can turn the tide. As we wrap up, it's worth asking, what lessons will the world take from this? How will militaries adapt? And how will diplomacy adjust to this new reality where invisible drone swarms can undermine the mightiest arsenals? One thing is clear: war is evolving. And if history has taught us anything, it's that those who fail to evolve get left behind, or worse. So while Putin might try to erase these red lines from his playbook, The world will remember this moment as the dawn of a new era in warfare, where small drones in disguised trucks can shake the foundations of superpowers.